I get it when you're scrolling through endless patio furniture options. The excitement of a new outdoor space quickly bumps into the fear of spending money on something that ends up looking cheap, wobbling in the wind, or just not fitting the way you imagined. You've probably asked yourself, will this set survive the summer storms? Does it really feel comfortable enough for a family dinner? And can I actually set it up without a crew of friends? Those are the exact questions I tried to answer before I sat down to record this review. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the basics. This is a 9-piece outdoor dining set from the Purple Leaf store. It comes with a rectangular table, 6 chairs, and 3 extra cushions that are already tucked into the seats. The frame is aluminum. The weave is PE Rattan, and the tabletop is a high-pressure laminate, HPL, that's supposed to resist stains and UV fading. At a glance, it checks a lot of the boxes that most of us look for: weather resistance, a sleek dark gray look, and enough seats for a small gathering. But the real test is what happens after you bring it home. First off, who's this set really built for? If you have a medium-sized patio, a backyard deck, or even a flat lawn area where you want a defined dining zone without committing to a permanent structure, this set fits nicely. The dimensions of the table give you about 72 inches of length, which is enough for a standard 6-person dinner, but still compact enough to slide around a modest deck. Because the chairs are lightweight aluminum with rattan that's woven around a metal spine, you can actually move the whole group without a toolbox. That's a win for anyone who likes to rearrange their space for a summer barbecue, a kids' play area, or even a quiet morning coffee spot. On the flip side, if you live in a place with harsh winters where snow and ice pile up, or if you have a large family that regularly hosts parties of 10 or more, you might want to look elsewhere. The set is designed for moderate weather. Aluminum frames won't rust, and the PE rattan is UV-treated, but the cushions are not waterproof. A heavy downpour will soak the cushions unless you tuck them under a cover, and over time that moisture can lead to mildew. So you'll need a storage solution or a weatherproof cover if you expect to leave it out year-round. Now, let's talk about the practical strengths. The most immediate thing I noticed when I unpacked the pieces was the clever way the cushions are integrated. Each chair has a recessed slot where the cushion slides in and stays hidden when not in use. That means you're not dealing with separate pillow tops that can get blown away or misplaced. The cushion density is firm enough to support an adult without feeling like a hard bench, but soft enough that you can sit for an hour and still feel comfortable. In my own backyard, we used the set for a Sunday brunch that stretched into the afternoon, and the chairs held up nicely even after a couple of kids jumped in and out. Another strength is the HPL Tabletop. Traditional glass tops can crack under a sudden impact, and wood can warp with humidity. This laminate surface feels solid, doesn't show water rings, and the dark gray finish hides the inevitable crumbs and coffee stains that come with outdoor dining. I tested it by placing a hot pot from the grill directly onto the table. After a few minutes, the surface cooled without any discoloration. That's the kind of low-maintenance feature that matters when you're not planning to reseal or refinish the table every season. The aluminum frame is also worth a mention. It's light enough that 2 people can lift a chair, but the cross-bracing gives it a stability that feels more solid than the typical lightweight patio set. When I set up the table on a slightly uneven concrete slab, the legs adjusted with their rubber feet, and the whole thing didn't wobble when we leaned back in our chairs. In windy conditions, a breezy evening in early spring, the set stayed put. The rattan weave adds a bit of drag, and the rubber pads keep the legs from sliding. Of course, no product is perfect, and there are a few trade-offs you should be aware of. The biggest gripe I found in the community feedback, even though there aren't formal reviews posted, is that the rattan, while durable, can feel a bit stiff at first. After a few weeks of use, the material does soften a bit with exposure to sunlight, but the initial experience is a little less plush than you'd get with a woven polyester or a softer synthetic rope. If you're looking for a chair that feels like a lounge chair straight out of the box, you might need to give it a season or 2. Another nuance is the assembly. The set comes in a few flat-packed boxes, and while the instructions are illustrated clearly, you do need a